Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be comparing iPhones and Android phones. These are two of the most popular smartphone platforms in the world, and they each have their own strengths and weaknesses. So, which one is right for you? One of the biggest differences between iPhones and Android phones is their operating systems. iOS is the operating system that runs on iPhones, while Android is the operating system that runs on most other smartphones. iOS is a closed-source operating system, which means that it is developed and controlled by Apple. This gives Apple a lot of control over the user experience, but it also means that there is less flexibility for customization. Android, on the other hand, is an open-source operating system, which means that it is developed by Google and a community of developers. This gives users more flexibility to customize their phones, but it also means that there is more variation in the user experience. Another big difference between iPhones and Android phones is their price. iPhones are generally more expensive than Android phones. This is because iPhones are made with higher quality materials and have more features. However, there are also a number of affordable Android phones available. So, if you're on a budget, you can still find a good Android phone. As I mentioned earlier, Android phones are more customizable than iPhones. This is because Android is an open-source operating system. This means that there are more options for changing the look and feel of your phone, as well as for adding new features. If you're someone who likes to personalize their phone, then an Android phone is a good option. Both iPhones and Android phones have a large selection of apps available. However, the iPhone has a larger selection of exclusive apps. These are apps that are only available on the iPhone. So, if you're looking for a specific app, you may need to get an iPhone. iPhones are generally easier to use than Android phones. This is because iPhones have a simpler user interface. Android phones can be more complex to use, especially if you're not familiar with the operating system. iPhones are generally more secure than Android phones. This is because Apple has a stricter security policy than Google. Apple also has a more controlled update process, which helps to protect iPhones from security vulnerabilities. iPhones have longer battery life than Android phones. This is because iPhones have more efficient processors and batteries. However, Android phones tend to last longer throughout the day than iPhones. So can't always be a deciding factor. iPhones receive updates for longer periods of time than Android phones. This is because Apple has a more controlled update process. Android phones can be more difficult to update, and some phones may not receive updates for as long as iPhones. Some text goes here, so, which is the better phone? The answer depends on your individual needs and preferences. If you're looking for a phone that is easy to use and secure, then an iPhone is a good option. If you're looking for a phone that is customizable and has a large selection of apps, then an Android phone is a good option. Ultimately, the best way to decide is to try out both phones and see which one you prefer. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you decide which phone is right for you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below.